Last year, when he was just 3, identical twin Lewis Relton suffered a severe brain hemorrhage that caused a life-threatening stroke.
Today, Lewis continues to defy the odds with his incredible recovery, and Lewis and his mum, Sarah, join us now. How lucky are you to have him sitting next to you today?
Oh, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah.
So, August 31st, you've just marked 1 year.
Just 1 year on Friday.
Take us back to that August 31st last year. What happened?
I organised a local home show in Whakatane, and I just finished quite a big weekend. Got home from work and the boys were at the dinner table having dinner, you know, and walked in and they were like, "Hi, Mummy," but Lewis was, "Hi, Mummy." Right. And it sounded almost like he'd been drinking, and my first reaction was, "What's wrong?" And partner said to me, "Well, he's probably just bitten his tongue, he was having dinner." Yeah. That's kind of what we thought, didn't think anything of it. And because I'm not a full-time worker, I'm, you know, part-time, so I kept the boys home on the Monday and we had a lovely mummy day and did some baking and things like that. But it wasn't till that night that the symptoms really started happening, and which were extreme nausea. He was just vomiting every single hour through the night. So we ended up taking him to A&E. Yeah. And because he was so dehydrated at the time and was giving us no clues at all as to what was going on, they treated him for dehydration, put him in some IV fluids, and we just basically had to wait and rule out nearly every single thing that we could. So they thought at first they thought it was meningitis, but we did a lumbar puncture and that came back, you know, fine. So it wasn't until the Wednesday, so thinking that this was starting on the Sunday, and it was the Wednesday now, that I noticed a facial paralysis. It was about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, or lunchtime, and mentioned to the doctors about that. And I was like, you know, obviously I'm not a medical person. I said, "Why has his smile dropped?" And then we were in for a CT scan not that long after, and they noticed a brain bleed the size of a hockey ball inside his head. So,
Hey, Lewis. How you doing, buddy?
Hello.
Do you remember feeling poorly? Do you remember feeling poorly?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it pretty rough?
You were in the TV.
I was in the TV, wasn't it?
So way more exciting to talk about that.
Pretty excited.
So at that point in time, what on earth happened to your world?
Oh, it just it felt like someone had punched me. You know, I can look back now and realise that we were in shock. They called the Westpac chopper to come and pick us up. Lewis has a identical twin brother, so Andrew was sent home to go and get Cohen and meet me at the hospital. So we're very lucky. We've got friends in Auckland. One of our good friends come and pick Cohen up, met Andrew at the hospital in the middle of the night and took him away. And it was just,
luckily,
waiting.
It's very rare, isn't it?
Extremely rare.
Extremely rare.
Extremely,
which is a good thing, but...
Given that you have Cohen, the twin, were you worried? Did you think perhaps that the same thing could happen?
Instantly worried, yeah. They share identical DNA, and it was a huge concern. You know, I've talked to a lot of people in this situation, parents in this situation, and, you know, they not necessarily... I mean, they worry about their family, but they're worried about themselves, you know, and get themselves tested. But we were so concerned about Cohen. If it happened to Lewis and we still didn't know why, then what was going on in his head as well?
You don't know why, because it's still a bit of a mystery.
It's still a mystery, yeah. At first they thought it was what's called an arteriovenous malformation, which is a congenital blood vessel that bursts. There's no trace of it. It's not to say that it probably didn't happen, but because they can't find it, they can't say that it was there. So it's still a mystery.
It actually shifted his brain as well.
8 millimetres.
8 millimetres it moved his brain.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, I've had elderly relatives who have had a stroke, and they usually get partial paralysis, and they have to work really hard in physio. They often lose the power of speech as well. What kind of things did Lewis suffer?
All of that.
No
he was
way.
Completely comatose. He lay in bed with a full hemiplegia, is what it's called, when it's one side of your body. So on his right side, he couldn't move. He just could not do anything. We were communicating to him via picture boards. You know, what do you want? A picture of a drink, a picture of food, mummy, his teddy bear Richie.
Is he naturally a right-hander?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
okay,
he's
so
not
he
now.
had to adapt.
He's not now.
Yeah.
No.
What's his recovery been like?
He has been really incredible, just incredible. And like you said, Rod, you know, people that have a stroke, they really struggle to get back into, you know, the normal functions of life. Lewis has taken everything in his stride and he is just getting on with it. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't seem to really have affected him or made him depressed or pulled him back. He's just gotten on. You know, he couldn't walk for a while, so he shuffled around, and you know, we went through the motions of basically having a 3-year-old that was back to a newborn.
Wow.
And I kind of say that we went from zero to 3 in 4 months. You know, we got him shuffling around the couch again and taking first steps and things like that. So
what does Cohen make of it all?
He was pretty traumatised, actually. Yeah, he was very, very traumatised. I remember when Lewis was in ICU, Cohen going up to the bed and going, "Lewis, why won't you talk to me?" You know, because he just couldn't do that. So we've had a lot of, you know, psychological help getting Cohen out of it, and we still talk about it. You know, we're very open about it in our family that Lewis got a sore head and he got really sick and he couldn't talk. We lost his words, and Cohen. The boy's like superheroes. He had a secret mission. His job was to find those words and put them back in his mouth.
What sort of percentage is he back to now, health-wise, and what can you expect? Will he get back to 100%?
Well, it's more physical. The damage that was done was not necessarily intellectual, but it was physical, so we're very lucky in that respect. Yeah. I would say at the moment he's probably sitting around 40 to 50% of his full capacity, and I expect that he will get to 90 to 95%.
Wow, that's encouraging, isn't it?
Eventually. We want him to lead a really normal life and get by. His hand and his wrist, he is very... he will lose probably a lot of his motor skills on that, and it would be very unlikely that he will pick a pen up, but he's proven us wrong in everything, so, you know, we can just hope for the best.
Absolutely. One little inspiration. Anya Lewis, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Go and have a muffin in the green room now.
A muffin? Do you like muffins?
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. What a story.
After the news, Brett McGregor's got Marrakesh chicken and the Destiny Divas try to solve your dilemma.